Detroit, live from Detroit.
Yo, what up, though? It's your man Jay Johnson, aka the Tinfoil Hat Titan, aka the Conspiracy Realist, aka the Technology Snob, Steve Jobs Jr. Don't text me with your green bubbles, aka I only debate my equals, everybody else I teach. Also known as Juice, because all the hoes say J.U. Ice, Young Caesar, because you know you can't run without me. Mister, if you don't like me, fight me. I got kicked out of Noah's Ark because they couldn't find another animal just like me, aka the West Side T'Challa, the new leader of Wakanda. Don't debate me, debate your mama. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. What up?
What up, though? And it's your man Dame Gone Wild, the West Side Landlord, the Pride of PA, High Chief Dame Don't Fuck Around, the Liquor Store Legend, the Corner Store Conquistador, your mama's favorite Dame, and the David Ruffin of the Shop Talk Podcast, because you know who the fuck they came to see. Not you, Otis. It's no better than these four letters. Thank God for Dame. And if you're speaking on Dame, you better say it nice. And if you don't put the boss in front, then bitch, you not saying it right. It's the Honorable Judge Boss Dame and this bitch. All rise. I am a motherfucking black belt. And man, I am missing Monday Night Raw to do this. So who want to fight? Who wants to fight? Because I don't miss wrestling for nobody.
Girl, that's man, dog. Yo, welcome back. Shop Talk Podcast live, middle of the week. You feel me?
It's really like the beginning of the week. Sunday starts the week technically on the calendar.
Thanks, Dane. You know,
You're welcome.
You know what I'm saying?
Not far. Not
Yeah.
far. You wouldn't have got it to 400 plus episodes without me, and you goddamn know that. You know that.
I've done over 1,000.
Would you gotten
Well
to
over
400 of Shop
Well
Talk
over.
without me? No, the Kim. I've told you before, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, and the rest of them niggas. Bobby, Cisco, rest of them niggas. I am the lead singer.
Okay. Whatever you say.
I am the lead singer of the band.
Dame After Dark. How'd that work out for you?
Marcus single-handedly killed Dame After Dark. He condemned me. He condemned me until I won't front. My last interview was so bad. It just took the luster out of it. But that, and then Marcus condemned it so bad, calling it Sodom and Gomorrah's top podcast, that he put a little stank on it.
He definitely referred to it as the Sodom and Gomorrah podcast. For sure.
He put a little stank on it. It was getting filthy. It's time for a rebrand.
D. Scott said at our next dinner out, and we need to hit up the Yard House. And then Mancho said, I rock with Yard House. Maybe we got to do our next live pod on the Great American Shop Talk's Great American Food Tour, Restaurant Tour. That's what it's called. The Shop Talk Great American Restaurant Tour. Maybe we'll fuck with Yard House.
Is Yard House like a family-friendly type of
restaurant?
It's
a chain. They got beer and all of that good stuff.
I don't drink beer, so that doesn't entice me, but thank you.
I mean,
you know where we should do it at is Twin Peaks.
Oh, for sure. We did.
That's very predictable of you, Dame.
And why is that? Are we making assumptions?
No, just very predictable.
I'm sorry, we have a guest with us this evening.
Don't
let us be rude, because she seemed like she want to be engaged. So we might as well engage her.
I couldn't sit here for that much longer.
Okay, well, please. You come by way of a close friend of the show. I will admit something, is that over the past year and a half, I have a brand new appreciation for your husband. Not just, first of all, he had my niece in his class last year. My niece randomly, I saw her at dinner about 2 weeks ago, and she said, Mr. Summerall? I said, yeah. She was like, that's the best teacher I've ever had in my life. Just off random.
Wow.
Just off random. She was so happy that I knew him, and she said that was the best teacher that she ever had. But what I wanted to say is that me and Marcus, have developed a whole new friendship. I've seen a whole nother side of him with him and encouraging words, encouraging me to get my walk together spiritually, actually getting out and physically walking with me. I got a whole new respect for Marcus as a friend. And I'm glad that you are here by way of Marcus. This relationship has developed in its own. But I will let you introduce yourself and your line of expertise. I wish you had an intro. I'm hoping that you have something, but I'll let you go ahead.
Listen, after those monologues or soliloquies, I don't know how I can follow that up, but it's all good. I'm Ashley, the maestro. I specialize in getting people paid and making sure that Black women have a seat at the table and know their value and their worth. Um, Considering y'all's Detroit references, I guess I would say Linwood made, Joy Road raised.
Yo, same,
Um, Hailing
same.
from the great Cass Tech.
There we go. There we go. CT fired up.
Yeah. Then I guess ultimately Western Bronco. I've been in corporate America, corporate thugging for. I actually started in corporate America when I was still at Cass, working for Comerica. So a strong 20 plus years. And so yeah, that's it.
Well, we
I
That
are
made you look really good on paper, I would have to say, Dan.
you
So that
did.
should be
You
worth
did.
something.
You did. You polished up my resume, which I'll be honest, the last time I had my resume done, God rest her soul, my mama did it. And
Oh,
she been gone 12 years.
okay.
So I I added the little blurb for Rocket Mortgage that I had on there. But other than that, I ain't touched my resume in 12 years. And I've been getting jobs with it, but I just ain't spruced it up none.
That's what's
So
up.
God looks after babies and fools, and depending on the day.
You
you know the
keeping your
baby
mama working even after
depending on the day. You ain't no baby, nigga. What the fuck?
I'm one of his I'm one of his children. I'm one of his babies.
Depending on the day.
I'm one of the Lord's babies. That's what I meant.
Okay. All right.
Yes, but you know what? And I'll be honest with you, Ashley. I needed to reach out to you, and I will privately because I don't know how to update nothing on my LinkedIn.
okay. We can talk. We'll talk about that. Yeah, for
And Jay,
sure.
I need something for you because I think you did my headshot when I started at my new job. And if
So
you got a copy of it,
you just a needy man.
That nigga like Boosie. Always on the internet nigga. Anybody know somebody who
Jay did the headshot, so I figured he may have the original somewhere in his files or something because I don't have it.
I
But
mean, you can always shoot more.
I
I mean, in
could.
fact, I
You
think the
probably should.
last time I saw you in person, I was doing headshots for an event that you had when you was fixing people resumes.
That is correct. We were doing the LinkedIn headshots situation, which was
Yeah,
really good because a lot of people don't really use LinkedIn like they should be, especially in this like day and age that's like digital currency and we talk about brands and things like that. People don't talk about their professional brand enough.
So
man.
Ashley, kind of help us. What do you besides taking trash resumes and making them look good? What else do you where's your area of expertise?
Long story short, I graduated from Western in '09 with a degree in finance. Uh, I had big dreams of working on the Chicago Stock Exchange. At that time, it wasn't no jobs, and like they were hiring people, but people with experience. So I pretty much had this degree and I needed to pivot. I started working at a staffing agency, just doing whatever, however they would put me in. And I landed in HR. And then I pretty much worked in all different facets of it. That's how I got good at interviewing. And then I really realized I wasn't the type of person that wanted to stay at a job for 15, 20 years. It wasn't in my repertoire. I was looking to make money and get to six figures and get to leadership however I could. And through that, I kind of learned how to do resumes, learned how to get really good at it. And then I started getting into HR. I worked for a that stinky trash plant that you see off 94. Well, when they were like modernizing, I think that was in 2018, they laid off 240 people. And I was like, heartbroken. I couldn't believe I had to be a part of it. So I started hosting free classes for these guys because they had been there for 20 plus years. Like, and I literally did 200 resumes. Like, listen, we're gonna do this. We're gonna send you out here. We reaching out, doing like career fairs and stuff like that. And from that, it just kind of grew. People started asking me about their resumes, how to do it, and it grew into a passion of mine, especially like being in leadership and being a Black woman, not seeing a lot of Black women in leadership, but seeing them doing leadership work but not getting paid for it. So I started being like, hey, let me tell you how you need to negotiate your money. Let me tell you how to do this. Let me tell you how to do that. And so it just grew from there.
Man, that's amazing. One question though. So
Mhm.
you was a part of that layoff and you just decided to help 200 people? Like that
Yeah,
takes
I was the person. It was basically like I was on Titanic, and they was like, "You got to stay in here and watch this shit like sink." And I'm
mm,
like, "Okay." Like I said, some people, especially in Detroit, when you get a job in like certain industries, if you get it at 18, you rock with it until you can retire. So
yeah.
these
Yeah.
guys were there like, oh yeah, I'ma stay. Imagine I've been here since I was 18. Now I'm 45. And I've been here thinking I'ma stay till I'm 60. And
Hmm.
y'all just pulled the rug in from under me. So we did a lot. Me and another coworker. I ended up tapping in with the city of Detroit, asking them, can we use their community centers? We was hosting job fairs, teaching them how to use computers because these were labor intensive guys. They didn't know nothing about Indeed.com or anything. They didn't have any reason to even think about it. I've been here for 18 years. My daddy been here, so
Man, that's heartbreaking, but it's also probably going to be a lot of our futures in the very near future.
listen, even when you think about like the federal jobs, right? I was just talking about this on Instagram a few days ago because Black women specifically have been taught go work for the government, go work for the hospital, you know? But we were never taught to think about what could happen if this job wasn't here, you know? How to like leverage ourselves or position ourselves for upward and onward. And so
Ja-
when you, what
Go
you
ahead,
say?
Ashley. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, when you look at the unemployment and you see 9 point something percent of African American women being laid off, and you're wondering like, where is this coming from? It's because the stable job sectors are letting us go.
I think that's a very important point because we have a false sense of security about our
Absolutely,
jobs that they're going to be
absolutely.
stable or it's going to be here. I remember my first time getting fired as an adult. Uh, I remember it was every year the company did budget cuts around October, and I made it through the previous three budget cuts. So I'm thinking this year four, I'm
I'm
smooth
good.
sailing. I'd already started calculating because I knew what my raise would look like in January. I'm already counting money that I ain't even
You ain't
got.
even get.
Yeah. And I remember I came into work that day. I'm doing my thing. I know this is the day that they're going to term people, but, again, in my mind is the furthest thing from my mind. And then my phone rang and it said human resources. And when I picked up, it was my boss on the other end of the line asking me, could I come on down to the office? And I'm like,
Right, that walk you never want to get when they say, "Oh, you notice like half of the group is going in one room and then the
"Mm."
other half is going this way," and you like, "Wait, which group am I a part of?" Like, what?
I I never forget one of my homeboys passed me in the hallway and I had my coat with me. He was like, it's a little early for lunch, ain't it? And I was
And you
like,
like,
yeah, yeah, it is. And I went down there and I made that walk and this was in October. So I'm banking on these next couple checks. It's Thanksgiving coming up, it's Christmas, my birthday. All of these things I've already kind of budgeted my money for, and the wool was kind of the rug was definitely snatched from
snatched from
from
up under
underneath
you.
me. Yeah, and it was a tough time. Luckily, things really shined in my. I'll say this: I've been fired twice as an adult. And both times, well, I don't even want to say fired because I was given a severance both times, so separated
Reduction
or
in force.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both times were the best things that ever happened to me. But again, that false sense of security that you have, that everything is cool, I'm doing a good job, you know, I should be up for my merit increase, and it just doesn't happen like that. Real life happens real quick.
Yeah, I guess that's what, you know, no matter how secure you may feel in your position, you should probably always keep a good resume because you never know when things could be changing at work, or you may be like, you know what, I don't really like how that interaction work. I don't even like how the moves that you guys are making.
That's the big thing right there. Realizing that like you are essentially the prize, right? And maneuvering and moving around with your skills and your abilities to things that are good for you.
Mm,
Because a lot of times, like you said, our parents, we just wanted to get a job. And now we're in a world where you could be in today and cut tomorrow. So understanding that, you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself to always be kind of ready for your next move. You know, like a switch, pivot, quit thing. Always thinking about that all the time. Are you trying to switch? Are you trying to pivot into a new industry? Or do you want to quit this altogether? And just realizing that just like these companies aren't loyal to you, not having a false sense of loyalty to them, because at the end of the day, they're looking at the bit of, they're looking at the bottom line, you know, and making cuts and things that's necessary.
man,
My
it's a cold.
my
Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say my old mentor. One of the things he always shared with me, he said, Never stay at a job more than 3 to 4 years," because
I absolutely believe that. I
because
mean,
he
unless
said
you're a
they
teacher.
he said they only gonna give you a 3 to 4% raise anyway at best. He said you're not gonna go to another job and just take a $2,000 bump up in your salary. You gonna command 10, 15. He said ain't no
There's
need in
actually
staying.
a study that talks about that. The greatest wealth hack is switching jobs every 3 to 4 years, because your entry into a company, you're known to get between 15 and 22% increase if you market yourself right and you market your experience that you're taking from the other job into the next one. A lot of times, like you said, when you're working for a company and you're thinking, I'm staying, they have a blanket 5% that they're going to give. We're giving 2% to the people that's just coming in, sitting there. We're going to give 3.5% to the people that's kind of good. And we're going to give 5% to the little squeaky wheels.
I
And
mean,
then it's,
that's an
you know,
absolute fact because I'll sit in those
those
um
meetings, right?
those
And
meetings,
you,
and you got everybody on your list and be like, yo, this person is at a 3.5. We need to move them to a 3, or we need to move
mm-hmm,
it because I need to have X amount of people at a high,
yeah.
X amount of people, only X amount of people at an exceptional, and the majority gonna be meets or
And then you have to think there's a whole, like a lot of times when you think about jobs, you think about terms of payroll, benefits, but there's a whole study of compensation, right? And when you look at compensation, you look at people that are paid below, mid, at market, and then high, right? And so, like, your highs are your super experts. Oh my goodness, it can't run without them, and they know this. Because there are people out here who are, it can't run without them, and you don't know it. And when you don't know who you are, and you don't know what your value is or what you're bringing, then you don't know how to value yourself. That's like Dame telling me, like, yeah, I asked him some stuff and he said, I'm a regular ass employee. And I had told Marcus, like, regular ass employees don't be employed consistently. You know, like even for whatever he's saying that, oh, I don't be doing nothing. You got to be doing something that you're consistently employed and you feel okay in your spot, you know?
you gotta be, and especially if you're in leadership, so they trust you enough to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and go X amount of over the next quarter or next year, X
You
amount of
gonna
meetings.
carry out our goals. You gonna carry out our goals. We're setting these goals at a high level, and we know at the end of the day, we can charge you with bringing it forth.
Yeah, it's the 3 to 4 year thing and moving around. It's a double-edged sword. They call it the gig economy. No one's there for a
Yeah,
long time,
absolutely.
and depending on the industry, you don't got no experts because everybody brand new. you just been here a couple years. Like, no, I need the nigga that know this shit like the back of their hand. I don't need you. How long you been working here? 2 years. I
But
don't
I'll
need you.
tell you, that's also relative to specific jobs. Like I'll tell you myself, like I've been in HR, but my specialty is payroll, right? And
Yeah.
I am a 3 to 4 year person. Like I don't stay too long. I get in, clean some stuff up, make sure I earn some extra bonuses. They think I'm a superstar and I done moved on. However, what positions me differently is because most people think payroll is just time card. I
Mm,
come in, I know tax law, I understand systems. So it's taking it a step further and making yourself an expert in whatever it is that you can do
yeah.
without even thinking, right? Just polishing it up, making it a lot better. And so in essence, you look at my resume and you see 3, 4 years, but when you look at it, you see these big projects that I'm highlighting on my resume. That's like, oh, I see why you, because you helped them, you got them together, and now you over here.
If you're a people leader, I'm a mercenary. I went over to this company. I got them together. I
Right.
made them this amount of money. Now I'm on to something different. So like I was in the same industry for 12, 13 years and then went into banking. You know,
Hmm.
and because if you can lead
Do
people,
bank.
people,
Yeah, you wherever.
right? And I'm like, I'm glad that that place taught me a lot of skills, so much so that like another company wanted to give me money to come do that for them. And when I left there, um this company I was about to go, I was going to make more money
Hmm.
commission wise, but until I'm out of training and everything like that, I was going to end up taking less money. And I was like, well, what can we do here? Because I know at the end of the year I'm going to make more money, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to a new job and then take a pay cut.
Taking a step back for sure.
And me and the recruiter had a back and forth professional. And I'm like, well, I asked for something different. It was like they're not going to do it. I'm like, well, see, because I still got a
Hmm.
job already. So can you see? It's like on a Friday, and I had to sign my paper by Monday
Hmm.
to because they offered me the job.
I remember this. I
And
remember this.
she didn't respond back to me. I had to sign it by Monday 2 p.m. She didn't respond on a Friday. She didn't respond to me until like Monday 11 a.m. And she was like, they said okay. I'm like, you so mad. Like, you must get a percentage back or something if you get them in under a particular number or something. I don't know.
No, because typically when you have headhunters, they have what's called permanent placement fees, right? So they certain positions, they just have a flat rate assigned to it. Like, oh yeah, we've been looking for this role for 6 months. We willing to pay 25K for it. That was really just her own personal bias. Like, that's all that was. And she wanted to get them, she wanted to be to them like, oh yeah, we found you a ninja and we found you one for cheaper. That's all it really is. It's about bravado and ego because she gets it off of you being in the position.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not taking the first offer. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
can't.
me either. And then I'm always asking for a sign-on bonus and a retention.
Got to.
So this my current job was the first job where I've had like a salary negotiation. And I'll be honest, I never negotiated a salary before prior to starting here. And maybe I did it wrong. But like no, no, because I really came in and I asked for a ridiculous amount of money. I asked for what I really want, which is because you talked about this. You said leadership and six figures. I've never made six figures. That's what I want. Now
Mhm.
I asked him for that, and she was like, you looking at a role above yours before we start talking about six figures. I said, so,
Well, the
she
good
like,
flip though is to say like, well, what's the budget? You know, because a lot of times they'll ask you for your number, right? And we funny about talking about money. So like people start being like, well, I was thinking, and when you flip it and say, well, what is your budget? It essentially lets you know what they got going on. Like, no,
What's
I
your
don't need you.
payment?
Yeah,
What's the
like
range?
what y'all, yeah, what's the spend? And that's really important because sometimes, and I think especially like Dan with you, especially you have a lot of leadership experience and you have experience across different groups of people. And so going into looking at management, nobody shouldn't be telling you less than 6 figures, even if that's just 100, right? Just based off of how long you've been doing what you've been doing, the things that you've been doing consecutively and consistently. And so that's where you ask them, what's the budget? Because one thing that might be going wrong is that I see a lot is the misalignment of supervisor versus manager. And so those things can translate into some places manager just means a people leader and supervisor means idea or thought leader. Other places it's switched around. So it's just really
Yeah.
understanding which one versus which one. And then also as a recruiter, it's one thing to say, oh, maybe you should be applying for the other position. Duh, lady, like
Yeah, man. So with certain companies, you can go on there and they'll tell you exactly what their range is. I'm looking
so
this week.
that's getting repealed though. So unfortunately, that was a big thing, right? With like pay transparency laws and different things like that. Unfortunately, with the way that administration is going, a lot of those ranges are being removed because certain states have a requirement where you have to list it. That's why you also see crazy stuff where it'll be like job range from 70,000 to 400K because they got to put something. And so you're looking like, how is this or why is this? But as the legislation starts to change and things like that, you might not see it on a job posting, but there is a few websites that you can use to figure out where you stand. Like, and you can figure it out based on there's the DOL, they do a composite every year, and
Who's
they
that?
pretty much the Department of Labor,
Okay.
they do a composite every year and they pretty much take all of these positions and they kind of like say, okay, a supervisor at Comcast might be a manager at whatever. Let's put this together and this is the salary. And then they show you like the ranges for all the different states and different and in different industries. So whenever you're thinking about like job shopping and different things like that, you can use it's called like blr.dol.gov, and it has like it's nothing but statistics, nothing but job ranges, industries. It drills down to like the most minute things. Another good one is Glassdoor. Everybody pretty much knows about that, but you
Yeah.
go on there, you can see the reviews, you can see why people hate it there, you can see what the last person made. But the only problem with Glassdoor is it doesn't prevent me from being a disgruntled employee and getting on there and being like, they are, and saying whatever I want, which can skew the data.
Got you.
Also like because I tell you what's be frustrating is you on your second, third interview and you finally get to the money and it's like, why
Y'all
y'all
are
waste
wasting
my
my
time?
time.
Why would you waste my time? Because like I'm only working at a job for the money. So we should start off talking about the money because don't waste my time.
But you know what? That's in taking your power back, right? As a candidate. When you having them first conversations with the sourcer, who is pretty much reviewing your resume to see if you're gonna go on to the hiring manager, et cetera, they say, oh, you got some questions? Stop asking fluff. Get to the real. Like, what is this pay range? Do y'all expect me to be in the office? I had somebody go on 2 rounds of interviews and then find out that it was in person. And she specifically said, I want to be remote. And they were acting like, oh yeah, but she never asked them directly in the interviews. So then she got to the point and they're like, oh yeah, we're shifting. And that's happening a lot with engineers right now. A lot with engineers where they're telling them, oh yeah, we're hybrid, we're remote, and then coming to find out, no, we
Your
want you in person.
hybrid is 4 days in person, 1 day at
Yeah, yeah, like this ain't hybrid at all. So that's where it's really important when you're interviewing and they say, you got some questions? Actually, I do. I got like 7 of them, like, and finding out if it's really, that's how you weed out because just as much as you want them to want you want to want it, right? And it's some things that you don't want.
because
You know,
like
I always
Mhm.
I preach that to my daughter right now. She's flip flopping with jobs, and she just a college student, so she not making a
This the
ton of
fly
money.
girl?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
She not making a ton of money, but so for my baby, she just got a new job, and
Hmm.
the money is decent for her age. She
Hmm.
really able to work. They give her a lot of hours, but she was like, I don't have no work life balance. I can't.
hey listen man.
And but hold on. What I told her, because I don't want to hear that shit. Cause like I need you out of my pocket. But what I told her is that like when you interviewing for a job, you so focused on money. Like that's
Hmm.
all you hear is it was more money than your last job. you said, I'll take it. A job interview is an interview on both sides.
Yes.
You got to see not only are you a good fit for that job, but is that job a good fit for you? And it's okay to walk away at the table because as I've gotten older, I've learned, that money is not always the most important thing. I knew my first day when I walked into Rocket Mortgage after I went through all them rounds of interviews and they was hyping me up about how this is a great place to work and all of that. My first day, I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work for me. Now it took me a while to get out of it, and I had some health issues in between there, which delayed some things. But I knew from day one, as soon as I got on that charter bus, I was like, nah, this not gonna work for me every day.
Also,
It
man, a lot of people be using these buzzwords because I'm on the other end, so I'm hiring, right? And like
Hmm.
this, what I'm looking for. If you're not that, it's a no for me, right? When you coming in already telling me I'm gonna need these days off, these days off, these off.
like nah, bro. Nah, nah.
Industry that we in, work life balance. You're gonna be here 40 hours a week, my nigga.
But I think that's important as a candidate, right? When you being a candidate, you got to decide before you go into these interviews what's important for you because the company might not align with what you got going on. There is a job, and when I tell you every 6 months, Marcus will tell you they hit me up like, you sure you don't want to come? You sure you don't want to come here? But it's in Monroe. I would have to drive to Monroe 2 days a week. It got so intense where they were like, we'll pay you to relocate. But I'm like, it's Monroe. What I'm doing, and I'm gonna do that for an extra 15, 20K. No, no, that's okay. And so
What's
you really,
what's in the
huh?
middle between Monroe and Detroit? Because that might end.
Brownstown, Monroe Jr. So it's just, but it's I'm at that point in my career where I'm making nice enough money. I'm doing what I like to do and what I'm good at enough that I can say no to things. I
Yeah.
can say no to things. With your daughter, sometimes she got to think like Louis Vuitton, work-life balance. You know what
What
I'm
what
saying?
I what I told her is that the job itself to me isn't that hard. What I told her, you're gonna look back and see how hard you really gotta work for money one day. And when you make that comparison, maybe it's 5, 6 years in the future. What you're doing right now ain't that bad for the money. I understand you in college, the sacrifice, you wanna do certain things, but then like she drive a little beater.
Hmm.
It's enough to get her around back and forth, but she didn't had to make a few, or I've had to make a few repairs to it. And now she got, in her head, I got my credit, I got a little bit of credit. I
I
want to
can go
get
get
me a
me a car
car.
note.
I want to get me a car with a car note. And I said, that's cool. That's cool if that's what you want to do, but you only gonna be able to like, daddy not paying no car note and I'm not paying no insurance. So I mean, you're gonna have to make a choice. If you want a car with a car note, she got her eye on a fucking Charger, and sh- don't
Nigga,
worry, don't worry. I've already killed that dream. She had her eye on this used Charger that she saw, and I was like, you can go ahead and get it, but understand, I'm not paying the insurance. I'm not paying the car note. And the first time that you come to me like, I only got 15 hours on this check, shit, I guess they
Mhm.
gonna come get
no man, I'd be
it.
scared for my daughter to have a charger because the nigga gonna take that car from you. You know
Don't
what I'm saying?
worry, she's
Niggas
not gonna get a
crazy out there.
Charger.
These young niggas
She
is crazy
said,
here. And now you calling daddy. Now I'm about to go catch a case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause your boyfriend or some nigga that you was dealing with then took the car. Like,
Yeah, I already killed that dream. There's no way you're gonna get a Charger at 19. I don't care how grown the fuck you think you is. That's when I gotta put like the daddy down.
yeah,
Like,
but yeah,
nah,
like no, no.
now this Honda Civic look a little
Makes sense.
bit, yeah.
Makes sense.
But you driving a 12 Charger just cause it's a
It's a
Charger,
charger.
like nah, baby, that's not gonna happen.
now actually, before we jumped on live, we were talking about resumes and things of that nature, and I was looking at a couple of posts on Instagram, and you was like, so you dropped your resume in Chat GPT, and that shit still suck. Can you kind of explain why it takes a little?
Yeah. So a lot of I think we might be too Disneyed out and we give computers way too much power. You know, we think that they're way more sophisticated, way more evolved than what they actually are. So a lot of times people be like, I put my resume in Chat GPT and I'll be like, shit, I can tell. You know, like it's very limited. It's very just generic because you told it to make your resume better. You didn't tell it for what? You didn't tell it a goal. You didn't tell it how to be specific. So if you are using tools like I said, like Chat GPT, et cetera, and things like that, you want to basically data mine, right? You want to tell it, hey, this is my resume. I'm trying to apply to these jobs. Can you make it more optimized? Can you include some success? One thing that's very important with this new ATS applicant tracking system way of applying for stuff is if you don't meet the criteria, you filtering yourself out. So if you're applying for a management position and you're not saying managed or led and you're not given a number of years, you out. If it's requiring you to use, I'll just say ADP, Workforce Now, and exactly, you put your stuff in ChatGPT and you are actually better because you have a brain and you can think long form and you understand what it's actually made for. Whereas ChatGPT is just generic and doing generalizations.
What I
So
said
you could have,
Friday, it was like ChatGPT doesn't actually understand what it's saying. I know it looked like they understand, but it don't understand what it's saying.
you have to like slap it on the hand and say, no, this ain't what I wanted. I want you to do this, that, and a third. And like I said, a job description could be asking you to be well versed in Oracle. You didn't took that off your resume. So now you're not you don't meet the requirements. It could be asking you about being a project leader or a thought leader. You have nothing about implemented, facilitated, just general power words that establish your experience. So that's where you come with like, okay, you put it in Chat GPT, but you don't have anything. A job could be saying, we're looking for somebody that's been handling $5 million in real estate. Your Chat GPT is saying handled multiple properties over a course of years. So that's where it's like very bland. It's like cooking with no seasoning.
Hmm. So in the past I've taken the job I was trying to put an interview in for or
Mhm,
resume for. I take that, give it to ChatGPT. Like, look,
mhm,
this is the job specifically I'm looking for. Here's my
mhm.
resume. Lie if you need to. Ideally, if this was starting at the base, what would be a great interview that will bring you just got to keep prompting,
Yes, you have to keep prompting it,
Keep
and then
what
even more, you got to keep like you can't trust it as the final. That's what I've seen a lot in HR. That I can tell you jumped this resume in there, you got it out, and you didn't even spell check it or fact check it. It'll have where ChatGPT said grew by percent. It don't have no number in front of the percent. Just all the things that are very necessary to show you as qualified and basically to make you optimize for the applicant tracking system.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah. So this is another thing because I think I talked about this. My little brother, he's an engineer, very smart but very stupid. He thought that he should take his resume, put it in Word, then do something with like putting the job description and clear over it and put it in a
Yeah,
PDF
I've
because
heard.
yeah, because the applicant tracking system is going to read it. The applicant tracking system, aka ATS, is set up by humans. Okay. They buy a module from a company. It could be ADP, it could be Workforce, it could be Workday, whatever. And then they go in and they set up the criteria. They may say required master's degree. They may say experience needs to be 3 to 5 years. They may say different things like that. They're all set up by humans. And so it's basically applying filters to your resume to give you a score and to say if it's worth a human actually looking at it. So that's what it does. It's not as sophisticated as you typically think. You'd be better off taking the job description and thinking like, oh, how did I do that? And then putting that on your resume as a bullet point versus all of this weird stuff that people are coming up with online.
Yeah, I made so I've been in corporate America for 20 some odd years, but I made a resume for myself for the first time for digital media. So
Okay.
photography and audio
Mhm.
and everything like that. And it was rather difficult, honestly, because I was applying for the city had a job for like some multimedia or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, it took me about a week or so to come up with a resume that I thought
Was
looked
worth
good. Yeah, but it wasn't as easy. Because I'm like, oh, that should just look basic as hell. Oh, I did this, I did that. So it took me a while to like,
I mean, and think about yourself in the digital space, right? You can talk about like how you've held private clientele things and this turned over this, or I'm able to cover vast amounts of media in different quantities. Really, your resume is like telling a story. You
yeah,
know how everybody's into that now, like the brands, I'm telling a story. My stepdad used to say this thing to my friends all the time, like, oh, what's your story? That's what your resume really is. It's what's your story. And realistically, back in the day, you used to put all of your stuff on a resume and you would try to get it on one page and you would be like, oh, I do photography on the side, references available upon request. It's not like that no more. You
mm,
have specific resumes for specific things. Your
Yeah.
digital world is different from your corporate world,
yeah,
which may be, I mean, even when you think about podcasting versus photography and things like that, that still can be different. So one person could have I have two resumes. I have one for just my payroll stuff, and then one for if I'm ever leaning into getting into HR management, which I hope I don't. But you know, so
yeah. So I
That's my
definitely,
that's my guy. That's my guy in the background.
he Connie, he figured he'd come and say, "Can you have a ginger ale?"
It's not too
I
late. It's
had
not
a
too late for ginger
whole
ale.
dang comedy special. I definitely put that on my resume, Macho, because I definitely did shoot Homecoming actually. But like once I put the
But talking about what that really is,
yeah,
right? That's does like that's maybe possibly set design. That's also budgeting. That's also that's a vast array of different things, not just a comedy special. It's a
yeah,
lot of different things that you got to think about because you want to tell the story of it.
yeah. Head audio engineer for Shop Talk Podcast Studio for X amount of years, where we did, it's just so much stuff. And when I looked at the resume after I was done, I'm like, damn, this me? Like, sheesh.
But you know what? That's an interesting segue because talking about this African American women and they're being so high in unemployment. One thing that is not factored into that is that during COVID, a lot of Black women went out and they opened their own businesses, right? And now they're coming back to the job market for different reasons. It could be burnout, it could be slow sales, it could be, just not being able to grow. And so I was talking about that on one of my lives about how you position yourself when you've been an owner for the last 5 years. You don't necessarily want to say owner, founder. You may want to say lead consultant or lead audio engineer or just different things that match directly to what you're seeking.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, you've been doing these classes how long?
This is actually just my second class.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been doing private one-on-one stuff for about 6 years. And so I just wanted to do the class as a way to offer it more inexpensively and so empower people to be able to just change your resume. You don't have to keep coming back to me every time you need to update something. If you learn the tricks and the trades, you can change it yourself as many times as you like.
Man, that's really dope. Now, the last time you did yours, I did some headshots. I posted some of the stuff and told some people, and they was like, "Man, tell me when the next one is," because they was like really excited. Because you were
Yeah, I
talking,
think the difference between me and Marcus is very front facing and I'm very like I just like to be back in the cut. So he been pushing me like, yeah, you need to get out here and do this. And I'm
You
like,
know, but that's the balance though. You got a good promoter
yeah, for sure.
in your life partner.
Yeah, for sure.
So
'Cause
so
me and
what's the deep?
podcast.
What's the deep? This is it's comfortable. It's me and
Yeah,
Jay.
yeah, it's
It's me
comfortable.
and
It's
Jay.
comfortable. It's comfortable.
So give me the rundown of this next class, where, when, and what people can expect.
Okay. So it's actually on Saturday. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a 2-hour virtual class. You register, you submit your resume, um, and then we go through how to fix it. And then at the end, you're gonna get like a diagnostic thingy from me, and then also some templates that you can use to make your own resume. So
Lead them, you teaching them how to fish.
yes, that's the big idea. Like, um, realistically, I'm really big on community, really big on not just Black people in general getting paid. And like really a lot of times what I've seen in HR is that we're doing the work, but we're not getting the credit. And we're not identifying how important and integral we are to position ourselves to move up and to move on. So one of my homegirls, she had been with Grand Valley for I think 12 years, real stagnant. We redid her resume, just pushed her out there, and she's well into the six figures now. And she
Mm.
wasn't, and it just having conversations and just like really pulling stuff out. We identified like, girl, you've been managing this whole building and you're not getting paid for it. And so she's went on, she's working for a Black energy company now, making really good money, leading some community projects. My brother, straight out of college, he did a lot of the different internships and stuff, six figures, and he not even 30. So like it's really important to me. Like the way we can create generational wealth is really realizing what we're worth in the marketplace.
Mm. Man, I applaud you because clearly the passion is there. And during the pandemic, a lot of people went independent and everybody started
Mhm.
selling classes and courses, and everybody been getting it over on a lot of people. So it's
Yeah, that was real important to me. Like, and I think that's why I was shying away from it because I'm like, I don't want to take nobody money. I listen, I can hustle, but I ain't no scammer.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And teaching people how to fish versus no. Every time $25 for every update I do to your resume, $75 for the first one, $25 for every update, or $3
Yeah,
per word, or some
yeah,
real.
like I really, because look, you could be, if you think about it, you could come across somebody and they say, send me your resume tomorrow. Now you got to track me down. We got to talk. Versus if you understand how to do it, you know what to plug and play and move forward, and owning your own destiny and flipping your own thing. So
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
nobody go
man.
to class and try to start another business though. Don't.
look,
They'd be like, "Well, shit, I know how to do it. I can charge people. You know how niggas is."
Hey
yeah, but
man,
that's really real. So I mean, if that's what it ain't gonna work.
You got to
you
make
know,
a connection, though.
and I tell people, me and Jay talk our shit, but like I tell people all the time, I give you the recipe. That don't mean you can
That's why
recreate
I
the
said
sauce.
it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
'Cause, I mean,
It's
do what
some
you're gonna do with the information, but that don't mean you can do what I can do.
Do your
for
intro,
sure.
do your intros, but they not like our intro. You feel
Yeah,
me? And
but
I be happy when people like, no, I start doing my intros and shit because I heard y'all shit. And this night, no shade. I'm like, man, that's dope as fuck. I'm glad that we had some
For
sort of thing.
sure. We're here to inspire, right? Until
Yeah.
we like perspire or whatever it is the saying, right? But also, and then also there's like this phenomenon with this book called Big Magic that talks about we're given things, and if we don't put them out, somebody else gonna come take them anyway. So,
absolutely,
And
absolutely,
I believe ideas are living, breathing things. And when an
mhm.
idea hits you out of nowhere, is because it wants to be birthed and it just left a nigga who wasn't doing nothing with it.
That's no, that's really the whole phenomenon behind the book, Big Magic. That if
Really.
you don't, when you're hit with this idea, if you don't bring it earthside, it still has to come. So now you're gonna be looking at the next nigga like, dang, I would have did that, but you didn't.
I just mentioned in a group dang about a week ago that one show idea that we
we
had,
sat on
and
it too long.
it wanted to be birthed. And now it's the
Yeah.
exact same thing. Though we did kind of speak to that anyway. but it's the exact same thing.
We just know better for next time.
Yeah.
We just know better for next time. But I think some of it comes because nobody wants to see me be the main star of everything. And the spotlight was gonna be on me and me alone.
You
And
giving major Otis energy though.
the last living
Major.
temptation. The
I
last
mean,
living
but
temptation.
I just want you to know, you said you was rolling out David Ruffin. I'm getting major Otis. The vibe is very Otis.
Yo,
Oh, Marky
Curve
said he gave you
got
two shows.
2 shows.
He
Curve,
did. Curve gave me another one that I haven't even spoken about because we haven't all talked together. But this is the one that Curve gave me might be might be
It's
it.
interesting because he doesn't do his shows that he should do. So that's
side
cool.
note, Curve.
Tell him again.
I was watching the show that I shot for you a while ago, Rap Nerds. I was watching the episode yesterday, actually, because I have it on my desktop. Did you respond into the chat too, by the way? Did I send you? Did you see that before? Did I send you that? I don't know if I ever sent it to you. You did one with Motor City O and one with Trinidad. But I was watching it yesterday, and it's really good, and you should do it again. By the way,
Just
It's
put it
interesting to
out.
bring all of y'all like to life because y'all be like characters to me until I meet y'all in person. I just met Aunt like, was that this summer? And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so it's interesting bringing all of y'all
Wh-
really to life.
Which one of us disappointed you the most? I got my guesses.
You didn't think it was you?
Not at all. Not at all.
Major Otis energy,
Not at
bro.
all. I
he
went
think
to
he's
church.
somebody
I
else.
worship with y'all. I worship with you.
You ain't do that for me.
I went to church with y'all.
You
Not for
go to
me, for
church every
yourself.
Savior, nigga.
No, she Ashley told me it was women at the church. So you didn't say
Curve low
that.
key been
You
telling me
didn't
that
say
for
that.
I told
You
you there
didn't
are
say
women in
that.
the church, and then you showed up in your leather bomber, bro. Like,
Didn't have on a leather bomber. I did have on a wool bomber, not leather.
okay.
I've seen you with a leather jacket before, actually, a
I
leather
do have
I
a
bomber.
I
will
do own
tell
a
you.
leather jacket.
I will tell you this, Dame. I have tried to hook you up with somebody, and your Instagram presence scared the shit out of them.
It's
Okay.
crazy. It's crazy. I cannot lie. I've been told by multiple women that like, yo, maybe you should
The
turn down the
girl's
middle
exact
fingers.
the girl exact phrase was, Ashley, are you serious? And there you have it.
The name says Dame Gone Wild.
Listen.
But I do want a wife. I do want a wife.
All right, Ashley, what's the
That
what?
rolls into digital currency is very important though. When you think about your resume, when you think about your Instagram, you got to understand what the purpose is. Clearly, you're gonna need another separate calling card for the wives from Dame Gone Wild, just like you would need multiple resumes, depending on what you're applying
New Instagram coming, Heartbreak Dame.
to. Heart healed, Dame. Heart healed. Healed.
Because you don't tell the hoes that you heartbreaking them.
No, I've had my heart broken. And now I'm just a single father looking for love.
Well, somebody did share me with the pie chart, the PIE,
Mhm.
performance, image, and exposure. And on that pie chart, the performance piece is not that big. It's more image and it's more
And
exposure
exposure.
in the pie chart. So your image and your reach and your exposure is really, really important. Which I don't try to put nothing too crazy on my socials like that, at least not on my main page, right? Because unfortunately, this is dark, but like people be passing away all the time, and everybody always goes directly to your page to see what you last posted. And I don't want that to be nothing crazy. I don't
It's
want to.
crazy because our 16-year-old says that. He like, yeah, like he's big on like, look at the picture they used for his pet. Like he be mad about it. Like he's really
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Look, man, when I went through some health challenges and I gave a good friend of mine approved obituary pictures. Don't rely on Instagram. Like, get the pictures of me and my children, me and family, me
You know,
smiling, not me throwing
related
up the middle finger at the bar.
related but unrelated. I love when I see pictures that I've taken on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Or like,
Listen,
I
those
love,
headshots that you did for me first, listen, those are recycled forever. Like I just keep using them. I didn't at my job. They was like, "Oh yeah, want to get a headshot?" I'm like, "I already got one. Here, use this one right here."
that's
Like I
what's
don't
up.
need this.
Damn, I don't even want to talk about this, but damn, I took a bunch of beautiful pictures with you and your family before. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about using those as anything because we're not bringing that energy into it. But
Yeah,
definitely,
But maybe it can help the heart healed. That ain't Instagram. The rebrand.
yeah. I'm with it. I'm with it. And Jay, I'll be honest,
No, oh, this he said, do I believe in giving jobs a full year before leaving? Listen, I believe I worked at Ford for 2 weeks and I was like, this not for me. Nobody knows but y'all now and Marcus that I worked for Ford. I cried about it because I thought Ford was gonna be my dream job. I thought I was really about to do that. And no, so I don't believe in giving a job a year. I believe in trusting your gut and also trusting people. When a micromanager shows you that they are a micromanager, trust it. If it's some aggressions, trust it. And I also believe that if you're in something about when you're in that search point of interviewing, it seems like you have multiple interviews, right? It's either like
yeah.
when you're looking for a job, you'll have 7 interviews or none. And so I also believe in finishing out the interview course before making any decisions.
When I always talk about Quicken,
Sorry.
I always talk about Rocket being one of the worst jobs I ever had and going through the interview circuit. Look, man, when they ain't make me take no drug test, I was like, oh, they let niggas do whatever up in here.
hey yo, listen,
They-
I never worked for Rocket. I was this close, right? I went in for an interview.
Dang.
I was there for almost 5 hours. I did 3 interviews that first day. They had me on the floor sitting with people. When I left, they mailed me like in the mail. I got 4 different gifts in the mail because they really, really wanted me to come here. But like at the time, for mortgage banking, there was like, and it's a very lucrative being a mortgage
Field.
banker.
Hmm.
But
60 to 80 hours a week.
at that, I mean, it was like 2013, 2014. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to get to the money. But they were starting off, they was like, it's $9 an hour for your base. What am I gonna do with that?
Like,
Like,
dog, I gotta get, but you have to think some of those companies, right? Some of your bigger companies with all of the bells and whistles, they got Red Bull machines, they got foosball, they got comping your meals. It's because they're getting ready to work you like a horse. Like
yeah, for
Look,
that
sure.
is that's the thing. You got to start like kind of identifying what's really culture and what's really like what's shit versus shine on, right there.
look, when I went in the first, they had what they call all in days where you work 13 hours a day. When I
Hmm.
went and they like you said, they got slushy machines, popcorn, beef jerky. They giving you shit all day. I took an hour lunch break on an all in day, and they called me to the office like something was wrong. Like, no, we don't expect you to take any breaks. We just want you to work 13 hours straight.
Like
I
so,
was like,
y'all
oh nah.
violating labor laws, doing
Mm-mm.
I said, oh nah. Y'all want me to do coke in the bathroom is what you
I'm
really
about to
saying.
say that's what they be doing
Yeah.
allegedly.
Oh no, it's
and
not alleged. It's not
It's
alleged.
alleged.
It's called a ski
It's alleged.
break. It's
It's
called a
alleged.
ski break. I
It's
work there.
alleged. It's
Okay, it's
alleged.
alleged. It's alleged. An alleged ski break.
Okay.
but that's really important when you're job hunting, right? When companies are trying to entice you with bells and whistles, that's just like when they say we're all a family. No, I already have a family. I'm coming here to work. So, like recognizing the signs. And then I think too, Rocket was so big here for so long and it was so alluring. They're having all that big old party, people getting Shinola watches, people staying at hotels. So it's like, I want to be in, but you got to look like, yeah, such and such was there for 18 months and then they're gone. And, you got to look at those different things to really understand if you want to do it, in the long run.
And
Hey man,
also
I
you
hated I hated that job so much that when I left, they was like, yeah, they sent me a box to return the computer. I threw that
Why are you
computer in the
about to say?
trash. I threw it in the trash. I gave them monitors to my kids. That computer went in the trash, and I never looked back.
Yeah. Well, Ashley, can you, for one more time, can you tell people where they can find you and what you got coming up this weekend?
Yes. So once again, this weekend I am doing a webinar slash live class. It's called Can I Be Honest? Your Resume Sucks. It's an interactive class where we're going to go over your resume, learn how to position it and fine tune it for you getting your best job possible. It's Saturday at 11 a.m. You can register for the class via my Instagram. There's a Stand Store link there. My Instagram is ashley.explains.it all. And that's it.
Well, sweet. Well, we appreciate you taking time.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate y'all having me on here. So thank
Taking
you.
We were,
Curve, better half,
yeah,
other
we were
half.
supposed we were supposed to have you on, or I thought we were going to have you on the show on Friday. Then Curve explained to me that y'all was taking like a romantic trip to Flint, so that it didn't happen that way. But I'm so glad
Don't
that we
first
got
and
you on.
foremost, don't try to come on my husband. We did not go to Flint. Okay. We went to Michigan Avenue. Okay. So thank you.
Did I gave Curve some advice? I told him to buy you something expensive. I hope he listened.
He did. I mean, that was
Good.
gonna happen anyways. He's a good husband. So
That's what's up. See,
Curve's a good guy, man.
I want all that good energy for me too.
you gotta stop looking back at Sodom and Gomorrah is what he just said. So
I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I'm a changed man. I'm a changed man.
you got the range, man.
He ain't picking up. I got you. I got what you was putting down. He ain't picking up. I got what you was putting down. Well, listen, man. Dame, you. Oh yeah. I mean, even though you just did it, it's customary that we give. Well, you just did our socials. Dame, yo, stuff.
Yeah, man. It's just Dame going wild on everything that matters. Look out for Heart Healed Dame coming in 2025 because Ashley is
Nigga,
going to
it's
find
already
me
2025.
2026. 2026. New year, new day. New year, new day. 2026. Yeah.
Yo, how are
You
you,
gotta
Dame?
just start now. Move the mountain that is you, Dane. Just start now.
I don't, a good friend of mine, S.J. Jackson, wrote a book that you don't have what you want because it's your fault. I don't have the things that I want because it is my fault.
That's
You
what the
know,
mountain is you says too. You
yeah,
are holding yourself back.
it's my fault. So I got to move it so I can get all the things that I want.
Well, some white guy that I be posting on my Instagram all the time says you don't have the things that you want because you're not as good as you think you are. You don't have the position that you want because you're not as good as you think you are. All these things. And it was like, it's better for you to hear that now and stop lying to yourself and get better versus you just thinking that the world
People
was out
or
there.
things are keeping you.
Yeah.
That's all in the same like breath though, right? Because you in your way and you not letting yourself be in your best self and you keeping yourself from what you really deserve and should get. Be it a
I be,
job or Dame's love.
Look,
I be looking at that
I'm
all the time.
changing from Kobe 8 to 24. Watch the rebrand. It's coming. It's coming.
All right, well, it's Jay Johnson, 313 and everything that matters. Shout out to the 70 people that are in here right now. Shout out to y'all because, we've been on here for an hour and 3 minutes, and we appreciate y'all. This is going to stay on Twitter, and it's going to stay on YouTube. So if you don't follow the YouTube right now, I need you to Jay Johnson 313 on on YouTube as well. Like, subscribe. I need them all. I need it all. And I'm not saying that we the Rockefeller podcast, but we are Jay and Dame.
Hell yeah.
Like
Peace.
that.